That's my quant.
Your what?
My quantitative.
You show me a pay stub for $72,000 on it, I quit my job right now and I work for you.
Be first, be
Ladies,
or cheat.
I'm not fucking leaving.
you're live again.
Look at this thing. It's beautiful.
I appreciate you.
Welcome to the fucking show.
I'm thankful. We have another great opportunity to hang out with you guys today. Appreciate that I'm substituting in for our boy Amit Kukreja while he is at CES. At least I don't think he's doing his clothes today. If he is, I feel bad because I was under the assumption that he is not. So fingers crossed. Let's say fingers crossed that he's not. Always a great day. Once again, this stream, for anybody that is following, is sponsored by the Street Exchange. We don't know who owns the Street Exchange, but some may say it's the future. It is a opportunity for you guys to have a live view of what is going on in the markets. So anybody that's potentially curious about ongoings, topics, how's the market performing, macroeconomic news, live ticker symbols, daily movers, it's up here. It's on here. So even got some background music to keep you guys going if you guys are interested. But link is in the chat for you guys. If you guys are ever interested, feel free to follow along. It'll show you the schedule when everybody's live. I'm happy to be here. January 6th. What a wild day in the market. We are diamond hands and we are not selling a goddamn thing. It's just been fun in the market. Check out this new hat I got yesterday. What do you guys think? Fitting for today, right? Rocket Lab, absolutely phenomenal day. And then we'll get a little bit into the macroeconomic news. So I've just been staring at my Robinhood account all day, just looking at how crazy this bad boy has been in terms of returns today. And I don't even know what to say. Let's see. Let me check out the last. Let's do a full day. I mean, guys, ladies and gentlemen, check this out. This is insane. Like, this is the overnight markets, last night, hanging around $77 or so. I wake up this morning, I'm like, oh, it looks like it's going to dip into the 70 something. It dipped into 74.23. And the next thing you know, we're rocketing, ladies and gents. So I have some people, it spiked all the way up to almost 66, 85.99, all-time highs now. Ecstatic doesn't say it, ladies and gents. And you can see it in the background. You see that electron on top of the fridge? Dude, we're living the dream. We got a new neutron hat. I got other things too, but you'll see them over time. All right, we're live. We're hanging out. We're having a good time. I think what's the other news that I wanted to bring up today? Where is my notes? My notes, people. Notes are we'll maybe in the background have a good old SPY. We'll watch how that closes into the end of the day. Extended hour, so looking pretty hot. So historic day, all-time highs on the Dow. A lot of things going on. So January 6, 2026, Dow came up about 1% for the day. What looking like just under 49,000. What's that looking like, ladies and guys? That's the covered call ETF. I don't care about that. Man, why you got to be like this? Don't we just have the index? I thought we just had the index on here, but I guess we don't. But yeah, Dow Jones almost 50,000. Like, believe it or not, I can't believe it. Like a couple years ago, we were just talking about Dow 30,000. So that's pretty crazy. Oil prices $57. The whole Rubin chip thing that kind of happened. I think that there was some initial excitement early on in the day, and it's kind of sustained. Initially, when I kind of logged on, I was like, well, this doesn't seem so great. In terms of the happiness that people are seeing in the markets, and it's just been crazy. Finally, actually starting to get some movement out of Amazon. So I think people are starting to think that they're going to be doing good things, and so apparently Amazon is noting that they're going to be doing and utilizing the Rubin data center processors that NVIDIA just released yesterday. So that'll be cool to see and utilize that across a bunch of different things. Let me just make sure everyone's hearing me. Everyone's hearing me, right? Just double checking. I kind of like sprinted on here from the office. Yep. Okay, good. So looks we're doing bueno. So yeah, Amazon, stellar day. Nvidia, I don't think it did too horribly for today. I think it's up like one. No, it's down. Okay. Earlier in the day, it was definitely up. So guys, as a shareholder, I'm broke. I have my 10 whole dollars in there, and no bueno. But I think the big news for the day is obviously SanDisk, and that mooning today, up 27%. Opened not too crazy, obviously, in the overnight markets. It wasn't anything crazy. And then when the markets opened at 9:30 this morning Eastern time, it just went to the races. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty insane because this thing has just been on an absolute moonshot over the past couple years, and looks like it's continuing in to 2026 for good old SanDisk. And I think the reason is memory chips, AI data storage, etc. So that's pretty good. Gold, silver continue to do well. What else was there? Some tariff stuff. I think, didn't Google acquire somebody today? This morning, I think I read. Or am I crazy on that one? Let me just double check. I think Google noted that they acquired somebody, or maybe it was Amazon. I'm trying to remember. Amazon acquisition. I'm trying to remember what it was. There was some acquisition today. I remember reading it. I can't believe I don't remember. Damn it. Anyway, I'll be able to figure it out. And yeah, banks doing well today. Banks are doing well. Let's check out good old JPM before the market closed. We're about 3 minutes or so. So yeah, JPM up 70 points today. What about good old Wells Fargo? It was up, but now it's a little bit flat. And then let's see, Bank of America up 0.6 today. So nothing too crazy there. Was it Amazon? I want to say it was Amazon that they bought something. I forget what it was. It was like $6 billion. Maybe it was Google. It's gonna bother the crap out of me. It's gonna bother the crap out of me. Good old other companies that we like to look at. Might as well before we actually rally in the market close. Venture Global up about 2% on the day. Good old Shake Shack having a great day. Go for a run, 8%. Good old Palantir, 3.3% on the day. Nebius up good old 8%. I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that they are a key proponent of executing on the data storage piece, and a lot of what we saw at CES yesterday, and synergies and efficiencies that you're going to be getting from those Amazon Vera Rubin storage units. Like, I think those are really high quality shit. So I'm curious to see what's up with that. Was that it? Google partnered with Hyundai? I don't think that's true. Well, I mean, it might be true. I just don't think that is the big reason. Salesforce, so Hot Steve, we're gonna be on live with Steve in about an hour. Yeah, about an hour. So we'll be excited about that. But let's see. Market close time. Let's get this. Holidays and trading hours. Is there no timer? I thought we had one. Live clock. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Officially, the market has been closed. Officially. We'll do a little. My little bell. Not nearly as good enough, but casino's closed, ladies and gentlemen. We have until tomorrow. Nothing to do until tomorrow. Casino is closed until then. I'm really curious what the hell else happened. New Fortress Energy up 16%. Let's get back to running through some of these names and what is going on in the markets. New Fortress Energy up 16%. This is a company that's fearing bankruptcy from not being able to meet its debt obligations. The NASDAQ closing up 0.94%. So good there. What else did we? The SPY closing up at 69.44. Steve's still lying to me. He said 7,000. Maddie say when 7,000. Bitcoin pulling back a little bit today. I was hoping it would continue up to above 95. I personally sold some cover calls. I had some stuff kind of come out of the expired, worthless, obviously. And so I have a couple ETFs that I hold some Bitcoin in that I actually have physical Bitcoin, but the ETFs make it nice because you're able to write covered calls. So I wrote some covered calls on that. Yes, I did see Grab was up as well today. We'll look at Grab in a second. Let's see if there's any others. SL Green at 48. That's up 2.5%. What else is there, ladies and gents? Let me see. Is Dow? That's Dow Inc. Let's just see. Yeah, so the Dow Jones was up about 1%. So 49.5, guys. Pretty much. Let's check out Grabby Grab. I don't know how it ended on the day, but I knew it was up. At one point, when I was looking at it earlier, at one point it was up like 5%. I was like, go, go, go. So no, we got some Grabby Grabs, some folks that listen to Emit heavily. They're big Grabby Grab folks. So Tesla, yes, I am curious. I don't know anything about what happened with Tesla. Down 4%. I think the reason why, so anybody that might be sitting here wondering, like, hey, why is Tesla down? And we talked about this at length yesterday, but for people that are just tuning in, basically, NVIDIA has been working on large language models that they can give out open source. And with that open source, that basically means that they're giving out the ability to give your camera functionality to do autonomous vehicle driving. And they're going to be partnering with Mercedes to be able to trial out some of these things. They're going to have a vehicle on the road by 1Q. And with that is I think the reason. I think there's so many people out there that have been thinking Tesla's the king, full self-driving is it. There's to me, I think, wondering why, there's a lot of people specifically saying that the moat for Tesla is that, and Waymo can't compete. And the reason why Tesla's going to win is because Waymo has to buy $150,000 Jaguars. Well, it doesn't look like you need all too much to install in these Mercedes CLAs, and you can just go with it. So it looks like things are going to be doing pretty well in that respect. What else was there? So we had Grabby Grab on there. Warner Brothers still kind of hanging out at 28. What else is there? I am curious if any news kind of came through on good old Rocket Lab. Nothing. Nothing that I'm kind of seeing. I think there was somebody that might have had a buy report or something like that on Rocket Lab. But there's also some speculation that the Mars Transport Orbiter deal might be coming through based off of the recent interview. I haven't fully digested the whole interview with Sir Peter Beck. It's about a 45-minute interview with someone, I forget his first name. I think it was Mike, but Mr. O'Brien did a really good job, I think. And I was able to listen to the first half and digest it all, but nothing entirely that would allow me to really see what's going on the Mars Transport Orbiter. Uncle Clay's Orchard, thank you for the $20 super chat, my guy. I know you don't like hearing this nor taking credit, but giving it to you. You've made me an insane amount of money on Rocket Lab. Congrats, my man. Really happy that you're doing well with it. I really am. I really just hope that people that are buying it, they're putting it in their own portfolios and it fits there, right? Yeah, fingers crossed. Let's just see. Did I see a Mitt and Jensen? What? There's no way. Is it on X? Did you get a photo? Let me see. Zeta, Substack, midst of. Guys, I don't see. Was it on Instagram? Was it on Legram? Had to be on the gram, right? I'm not seeing anything. It's on the gram. Are y'all gonna make me sign into my Instagram on my laptop? Hold on. All right, I'll do it for y'all. I will do it for y'all. We gotta see this. There's just no way. As long as it doesn't how do I do this without showing you all the baddies I follow? Because I'm not trying to have that, let's see. Okay. Can I stop sharing. Stories. That's not Amit and Jensen. There you go. There you go. I didn't really see a actual photo. I mean, was it on his photos? Guys, I'm really bad at this. Let me see. Amit. He doesn't have any posts yet. So you're just saying he got X stock market news. Okay, so I got a stock market news. You guys are better at this than I am. You guys should be running the show. I'm garbage. Did he ask a question? Let me see.
Is quite high. It's very high.
Which post was it? Was it this one?
It seems that, and what we learned about how likely it seems that we're going to see big orders in China for the H200. The customer demand is high.
The one that just got posted?
It's quite high. It's very high.
Oh, there you go.
Hi, gentlemen. Thanks for taking my question. My name is Amit. I run.
Hanging out with you guys, it's really fun, actually.
We're having fun too. This is we are living in the greatest time to be alive with a company that is pushing the limits at every level. It is fascinating every morning that I get to wake up and analyze your company. I run a YouTube account and X account, and my audience is primarily retail investors. Now, my business has exponentially increased over the past 5 years because your company has exponentially increased, and there's just a lot of news to cover every single day. And
we brought a lot of retail investors into the world.
Yeah, and a lot of retail investors have, quite frankly, created generational wealth because of trusting in your vision.
Leather on leather, my guys.
I do a live stream every morning in the morning and in the afternoon, talk about the market. We also talk about NVIDIA every day. When you guys have earnings, we have 25,000 people across the entire world get on one stream to listen to you talk for an hour. Every quarter for the past couple of years, you guys have seemed to beat and raise expectations. Expectations that are very hard to beat and raise.
I know.
And sometimes Wall Street recognizes it, sometimes it doesn't. My question is more philosophically, how do you deal with the pressure of running the world's largest company, a company that a lot of people are saying should be larger than what it is today, and being able to continuously beat those expectations, knowing that it's not just the average bank that owns your stock, but it's the average retail investor who really does believe that this company has a lot further to go?
Well, first of all, I don't do it by myself. I've got an amazing team around me, and they help shoulder the responsibility. There's no question that NVIDIA today has great influence in the world's technology industries, the supply chains, and the end markets. But what comes with that also is great responsibility, and we take it very seriously. And of course, one of the things that we could do, one of the primary things we could do is to build the best technology the world's ever seen. And by doing so, not only do we stay relevant ourselves, all of our partners continue to succeed, but we also ensure that AI advances in a way, that continues to scale. If AI continues to get smarter, we'll use it for, we'll be able to use it more productively. That continues to scale. If we drive the cost down, that continues to scale. If we drive energy efficiency up, that continues to scale. And so all of that comes along with technology, and that's our first responsibility. The second part of it is to make sure that we have a rich ecosystem of other companies that are benefiting from this industrial revolution, which is the reason why I'm always on stage with a CEO Sunday. Isn't that right? And every single day. Today I was on stage with Roland Bush, who's the CEO of Siemens, and we're partnered with Siemens across a whole bunch of different sectors of their software. They're the largest industrial software company in the world, and they're just about in every single factory and every single industry, and we're working together to bring AI and revolutionizing how factory automation is done altogether. Everything from acceleration of software to physical AI to AI physics to omniverse digital twins. The work that we're doing there is really broad. And so we need to, the second part of our responsibility is bring everybody along. And our partnerships with Snowflake and ServiceNow, Palantir, Cadence, Synopsys, Siemens, you name them. We want to make sure that everybody comes along. And so I think this, the resilience of the industry is going to be stronger if we're not singular, but somehow this network of ecosystems around the world is moving along with the technology. And so there's a couple of different things that we do, but in the final analysis, we have to keep doing our job and keep beating the quarter and raising the quarter.
There it is. We have another one from our friend. First and foremost, shout out to our boy Evan from Stock Market News for posting these videos. These are absolutely phenomenal. We have another friend, Gav. I don't know if Gav knows me all that well, but I know Gav because obviously the Wolf account is absolutely massive and has our friends like Sam and many others. Wolf continues to do extremely well. So let's listen in to what Gavin.
Jensen on your right. Hey Jensen, thank you so much for having us here. My name is Scott Black, work with Pool Financial. Similar to my fellow convert Amid, also a venture content creator, sharing the word of NVIDIA. A lot of my audience, I think what infatuates them about NVIDIA is that what's happening nowadays, being created nowadays, robots, etc., they couldn't even fathom 10 years ago, right? It was impossible. So when you look 10, 15 years out from now, what's something that today is impossible, but you believe that we're going to accomplish?
Well, if I told you that,
it's gotta be something.
If I told you that, you won't come back. You gotta dole this out a little bit at a time, or you have to join NVIDIA. That's the answer.
There you go. But no, I like what Jensen said to Midman. I think that there's just so much opportunity. Like it's more about getting the hardware out there and providing the. I wish I could put the volume up, guys. The volume is as high as it can go. Sorry, that's a little bit muted. But yes, absolutely. I'm beneficial. Thank you for noting MicroStrategy up pretty big after hours, and I'm curious why. I think I'm seeing potentially why it may be up. Let me put the move here on the screen. Why it's going up? Big moves. Let me get in the last 5-minute chart here. Yeah, big up, 8-9% after hours, and at least what I pulled up is this article from Tech Stocks Squared. Where is my StreamYard? There we go. Let's share this, and it might be because they actually filed specifically what they are down for the year. So let me just zoom in a little bit. Apologies, we got some advertisements. Gotta pay the bills, right? But this was filed about an hour ago during regular sessions. So showed that basically for the fourth quarter, there was a filing, I guess, on digital assets specifically that they posted a $17 billion loss, but also some fresh Bitcoin buys. So maybe we can do some searching. But there's obviously the fourth quarter full year results expected on February 4th. But I think what people are starting to recognize is like, yes, Bitcoin down, understood. There's technically a loss on a mark-to-market basis for where Bitcoin's at. But I think what people are starting to recognize is that net asset value is still way higher than I think people are giving credit for. Whether or not that's because people think that Bitcoin's going to continue to go lower or what. But the company noted it bought another 1,300 Bitcoin over the past several days for 116 million, lifting the total holdings to just under 700,000 Bitcoin as of January 4th. And it basically used the at-the-market program to be able to do that. They also set aside preferred stock and dividends and interest that stood at about 2.25 billion. The stock has fallen about 50% in 2025. What else is there? See, I'm not sure if this is what's particularly up. If anybody knows, particularly the news, then would love to kind of hear the thoughts. It's because MSCI is not delisting. I'm Benny posted. Let's see. So MSCI, not to exclude digital asset treasury companies from indexes strategy, will continue to hold and buy more Bitcoin. There you go. Where's Amit? Sorry, Amit's not here. Interesting. Interesting. Well, congrats to people that are holding on to their micro strategy. Might live another day. I actually am very bullish on MicroStrategy as a whole. I think that for me, I'll be potentially buying it later in 2026 if the market continues to go down. You guys are probably sitting there like, why it's not going up? Why would you buy it? I like to buy things early, and I like to inflict pain on myself to be down 20, 30%, as evident with buying Palantir early, buying Rocket Lab early, buying Venture Global next decade. So when this thing goes down, I will gladly be buying. So Amit hasn't pitched me per se on Grab. I've listened to him. I've read independently. I don't think it's a bad company per se. And I really hope everyone the best on it. I think that I don't think you're going to lose money by investing in something like Grab. So all the best. It's just I personally am not running to go and buy a bunch of Grab or anything like that. I think it's really just dependent upon what you're into. And for me, I don't hate Grab. We're up, it's up rather 3.5% on the day. And I know a bunch of people that bought this sub $5. So you guys are sitting on a W at this point. But I don't know. To me, it's just I would want to see something a little bit more innovative, potentially, to invest in something like Grab. But that's not to say I dislike it. I read through it, and I think they have some promise in some of their new segments that they're starting to work on. And I don't think it's a bad place to put money. I don't think you'll lose money. So, but sometimes when I say that, like I said with Ondas yesterday, like I don't know if it's going to outpace the market, and but it's not a horrible company. I'm not bearish on the company. People immediately think I'm shorting. So, disclaimer: not shorting Grab. I don't own Grab, and I'm not bearish Grab. I really hope everyone continues to well on it. One company that I sold out of too early that has been doing extremely well is Nubank. And so just want to give a good shout out to everybody who invested in Nubank. I sold this early in like the 15s or something like that. When did I sell it? Let's see. That's January. So when did I sell it? Oh, that's year to date. Yeah. I sold it when it like had this spike up in September, October. So am I going to lose out on money? Yeah, I knew that, but I think in the long term, I like Nubank. I don't think it's a bad company. Once again, just because I sell something doesn't mean I disagree. I hold so few positions, guys. I don't think people fully recognize. And yes, I did make a clickbait article or a clickbait post that I bought a bunch of NVIDIA, not bought a bunch, but I bought NVIDIA yesterday. It's true. I bought $10 whole of NVIDIA. I'm technically a shareholder with you guys. Take that as you wish. I don't really expect me to continue to double down or anything like that. But to me, I look at Nubank and it's already an $86 billion company. So it's like I stated, not horrible, but in the short term, where do I really see this thing going? It's like, a bank is tough. Like there are $1 trillion banks like JP Morgan and stuff like that, but is this JP Morgan? Like it's tough. So I'm sitting here like when I put the money into whatever I put it into, I sit here and this is the way I think. It doesn't mean that's the way you guys have to think, but Nubank has a lot of momentum. I think that the dollar is reversing against the real and a few other things, which obviously is very beneficial for Nubank because they mostly deal in Colombia, Brazil, now Mexico, and so the strength of the dollar can be positive or negative for the company. So don't dislike Nubank, and I think there's a huge Latin American opportunity, potentially even American opportunity for Nubank. But to me, I'm sitting here like, okay, maybe it gets to a $250 billion market cap. So maybe 2.5, 3x from where it is today, which isn't bad. It's going to take a while to get there, likely, unless their margins end up being super great, which their margins have been pretty good as a bank. But the thing I was looking at potentially buying is Venture Global, Next Decade, and I just see those as more likely to return value in the next 5 to 10 years. Obviously, we'll see. I think Nubank is an easier short-term play, or was an easier short-term play, because I think they're making positive strides and they're kind of hitting this inflection point right now. And so I took a good opportunity to take some money off the table, and I made profits selling it in the $15, $16 range. But yeah, to me, I was just like, you know what? I don't think I was just, it was one of those things. It's like I had money in SoFi, then I moved this from SoFi to Nubank, and then I held Nubank for a little bit, and I was just like, you know what? I'd rather consolidate that money and put it into VG in Next Decade. So there's that. Somebody's saying Ethereum is pushing right now, up 1%. Looks like. So it looked like a little bit of a bump up. But yeah, I'm curious. Let's see what CNBC, if they have any good articles or items for us to check out as of today. I still hate the logo. Let's see if there's any good things to check in. Oh, shit. Well, we got to watch that. All right. Big news, ladies and gentlemen. You probably already saw this. XAI raises $20 billion.
Speaking of raising money, we have news on a new raise of money. Kate Rooney has that for us. Good to see you.
Great to see you, Scott. Yeah, some funding news out of the Bay Area here. Elon Musk's AI startup XAI has officially raised $20 billion. This is a Series E funding round. According to a press release from the company, they say here that it's well above the original target, which was roughly $15 billion. David Faber, we should say, has been reporting on some of this. There's no valuation in this press release. Faber's reported about $200 billion in terms of the new valuation. Again, they have not said that officially in the release. The backers, investors in this funding round include some of the usual suspects you hear about in Elon Musk's orbit: Valor Equity Partners, Antonio Gracias, somebody who's quite close to Musk, on the board of Tesla. You have some strategic backers here, NVIDIA, Cisco as well, underscoring sort of the race here to scale some of the AI infrastructure. You also have some names like Fidelity and Qatar's sovereign wealth fund, MGX, as well. It does talk about some of the AI supercomputers, GPUs here, and also mentions finally 600 million monthly users across X and some of the Grok products. But that is the latest in AI funding. Scott, back over to you.
Yeah, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Absolutely insane. Was not expecting to see that. I mean, I know that XAI has a lot of people curious about it, a lot of people wanting to potentially get in. I have my finger on the pulse of a lot of these private companies, so I'd be curious to see if this trickles down, but was not expecting this at all. Very curious as well. A lot of people mentioning today, specifically partnerships associated with Google DeepMind. So let's take a listen into What's going on with that?
Google's DeepMind unit announcing a partnership with Boston Dynamics as humanoid robotics steal the show at CES, potentially undercutting the robotics part of Tesla's valuation case. Those shares are down 4% today. Deirdre Bosa gets into the details in today's Tech Check. Deirdre?
So, Kelly, this is why it matters. It's because autonomy is no longer Tesla's story alone. It powered Tesla's valuation in 2025, but the competition is getting real and it's happening fast. So Boston Dynamics put that on full display at CES with its next generation Atlas robot. You're looking at it now. In a subtle but important move, executives, they actually avoided some of the hype that has dogged Tesla's humanoid push, saying right up front that the demo was teleoperated. They then moved on quickly to what actually matters, and that is what you're seeing here, a robot that pushes past the human form, fully rotational joints, built to operate in heat, cold, rain. It can move its arms and legs, you see, in ways that humans can't. Now, at the same time, NVIDIA is pushing deeper into autonomous driving and robotics with open, reusable software models designed to run across many systems. And that is a direct challenge to the core Musk dogma that owning the data and the full stack creates an insurmountable edge. Now, on the flip side, Kelly, and for the Tesla bulls, CES also does validate Tesla's core thesis: ship early, learn in the real world, improve through software. And that is exactly what Tesla has and is doing. As my colleague Laura Klodny put it today when I was chatting with her, Musk doesn't need CES. He already has the biggest marketing platform in the world. And right on cue, he responded to a post on X this morning calling NVIDIA's release the first real competitor to full self-driving Tesla software. Writing, he said, "I'm not losing any sleep about this, and I genuinely hope they succeed." But Kelly, as the competition intensifies, Tesla's autonomy premium, that may be harder to defend going forward.
You know, it does feel like, you know, on the East Coast here, we're still not experiencing the Waymo flourishing that you guys are out there, but it really is now feeling inevitable. It feels like it's coming, and it feels like it's going to be Teslas and more full self-driving Teslas and Waymos, and this new partnership between Uber and Lucid. And I mean, we're right on the cusp of this going mainstream.
I mean, and that's a key question. Is it going to be two players like a Waymo and a Tesla, or is it going to be many? That is sort of the proposition that the rideshare companies, Uber and Lyft, are betting on. You mentioned Uber. Shares are up today on that Lucid partnership. There's also Baidu in London, which is going to be really interesting because that's sort of neutral territory, right? To have American automakers go in or self-driving car companies go in like a Waymo and a Baidu navigating those regulations and those streets. So I think what it comes down to is you're absolutely right, Kelly. It's coming probably sooner than many had anticipated a few years ago. And this year, you're really going to see it take off. Can Tesla defend that autonomy premium when you have so many players coming in?
All right, Deirdre, thanks very much.
All right.
Comcast.
Really good there. I think one of the things that we need to look at as well, some people noting, why is SoFi down today? Why is SoFi taking a hit? And once again, SoFi is hitting the ATM machine by selling stock at $27.50. So they're basically going to Goldman, Bank of America, Citigroup, Global Markets, Deutsche Bank, Mizuho Securities, all basically to purchase additional shares of approximately 58 million shares. So I forget what it ends up being. I think it's like close to 750. Let me check. I don't remember. I remember seeing a highlight of it, but I don't remember where it ended up being. Where's my calculator? Why is my calculator hiding, ladies and gentlemen? There it is. Man, this computer is slow today. Probably because I clicked on calculator 18 times. 2750 times 58 million. Okay, 1.6. I remember seeing the 1.6 number convertible debt yesterday. So yes, no bueno in terms of dilution, but what are they going to do with this $1.6 billion, right? And I think this always goes back to what is going on and what exactly are they going to use it for? I'm cautiously confident that SoFi will have a phenomenal year. They've just hit profitability, a couple years back now, and they're really starting to get to a place where they're hitting stride. So can they use this for acquisitions? Can they use this for accelerating and feeding stuff? Like what exactly do they want to potentially do? Yeah, sorry guys, I'm going back and forth between monitors trying to bring up news. So yes, there was another clip that I wanted to watch. Oh yes, I want to see this. Apologies if it's old news. Once again, sorry. I don't. You guys have to realize I'm working a 9 to 5 and trying to keep up with the markets, and I don't know exactly what Amit talks about in the morning. So apologies if some of this is overlap, but hopefully for some of you guys, it's new information.
Hey, Kelly. So we've talked about this before. There's been a lot of speculation about whether Gemini is really making a dent in ChatGPT's lead. So take a look at this chart we had made up based on data from SimilarWeb. And the answer really is, in the end, the slope here on the end. ChatGPT visits grew 50% in 2025. They peaked in October, down 11% since then. Gemini usage, meanwhile, started its upward trend in November, right around the time Gemini 3 was released. In November and December, percentage gains for Gemini was nearly 30% versus OpenAI's traffic, which decreased about 6%. So, guys, the real question now is whether this trend can be sustained. Part of it is the law of large numbers. ChatGPT just has such a huge base. It makes its growth look milder. Gemini's more than fivefold gain last year. That comes off of a small base. The real signal in this chart is not that OpenAI is losing, but that Google may finally be converting distribution into usage. And so if that trend holds, the next battle is retention, which, Kelly, we've talked about plenty.
But so in other words, there's no dispute that Gemini is gaining ground on ChatGPT.
According to this third-party data, no. Gemini is gaining ground, but I mean, ChatGPT, OpenAI, is still the undisputed leader. It's just so much far ahead.
Now, Deirdre, we're showing the chart right now that shows the kind of the use case that you're talking about right now. And we can see just how big it is that this ChatGPT versus Gemini, but the ramp up that you're seeing on the right-hand side of your screen for Gemini. Mm-hmm. If you look at it in that way, what exactly then is going to power either the convergence of those lines from the Gemini side and the ChatGPT side, or a potential divergence again, where the leader in ChatGPT reasserts itself? What exactly what needs to happen for us to get into ChatGPT more?
This is the constantly shifting trillion-dollar question, Dom, right? Who wins this? And then there's another really interesting chart that we've shown in the past, which is, the OpenAI universe, which includes like an NVIDIA and Microsoft and Oracle versus the Google universe of stocks. And Google's just so much more vertically integrated. It has its own custom AI chips. These are very different investment propositions in the markets. So what powers it going forward? I mean, Sam Altman has spent a lot of the last few years talking about AGI, how that was so critical, that the company that gets to artificial general intelligence is the one that wins this whole thing. Over the last few months, you've seen sort of a shift, a bit more nuance here. Their code red talks about just making sure that ChatGPT usage is able to retain its users. That's very different, more focusing on product and enterprise. And that's where Google's strength really is. It talks about AGI as well, but its strength is in this massive distribution that it already has. Billions of users across Google Docs, across Gmail, across search, which now, AI is being served on. So that's really key. How are they going to distribute this? Which one is stickier? And there's also been some past SimilarWeb data that shows that people are actually spending more time on Gemini. But that's really the big question. I mean, does OpenAI ultimately look like a Netscape or a Google? The irony of that. Or is Google able to just sort of keep increasing that catch up?
Nobody wants to go down that route.
You think? All right. Good on that one. Where was I with respect to? I was about to head down a hole somewhere. So we talked about strategy. We talked about Gemini. There was one I saw it when I was glancing over, and I wasn't sure where it went. And now it makes me kind of sad because. But the question I have in the chat is, what chatbot are you guys using? Because I personally have been using Grok a lot, but after talking to Steve and now obviously creating these thumbnails, his hope was that I would continue to focus on potentially Gemini. So I've moved over to Gemini for a bit to see what's going on with that. And fingers crossed that things continue to do well with Gemini. but I haven't used ChatGPT in a while. I feel like ChatGPT was the first, and so they have like market mover advantage, but I'm not 100% certain that they're getting the results that they think. I don't know personally, because obviously things are dynamic. You can't always be keeping up with everything and trying them all at the same time. Here we go. This is exactly what I want. So this is talking specifically about some of the. We won't go through the whole interview because it's 21 minutes long, but there was apparently a Siemens and Nvidia chat that's 21 minutes long. I would love to actually go through this and listen to it. That should be fun. But yes, this was particularly what I saw. What I saw was basically why isn't it not there we go. I saw Jensen on screen with the CEO, I believe, of Siemens. I believe it's the CEO. I don't know what he looks like, but I'm curious to see. I obviously we'll kick off the interview. We won't listen to the whole 21 minutes. But what I will say before you guys leave me is do me one favor, and we're gonna troll the shit out of Steve. Okay, so Steve and I are going public here. Not public. We're going live in 20 minutes. What I'm calling medium rare. Steve is calling it the bootleg market close. But the thing that we need to do, we need to figure out, and then we need to close the poll as well. But we need to troll the shit out of Steve. But check out this thumbnail. Steve did a pretty good job on this thumbnail. Let me see. Not a bad thumbnail. I you know, as much as I want you guys to watch on Steve's channel, if you give me a second, I would love, it's a good thumbnail. Okay. That's an okay thumbnail, but I would really appreciate it if you watched it on my channel. My thumbnail is better. I don't know why it's so. Is that thumbnail really that poor? What the hell? My guys, what the F? I gotta fix this. I'm sorry it's showing up so poorly for you guys. It was perfect. I'm sorry. We gotta fix this. We gotta fix this, ladies and gents. I am livid. I'm livid. Did I send it directly to Steve? I saved it on my phone, did it not? No, this is perfectly fine on my phone. Guys, I apologize. I'm sending it to the Matt Money members chat. If you're a member, look inside the old community notes. There's ability to join the members chat. If you're a Patreon, there's links in there as well. It's all donations. That's really the only thing that I do that differentiates me. Stop taking so damn long. We need the people to see how high quality this damn. There it is. There it is in its full glory, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta fix this. I'm sorry to completely derail this and take so much damn time out of your guys' day to fix a thumbnail. But ladies and gentlemen, it needs to happen. See, it shows up well. I don't know. What about now? I don't know why it's not showing up well, guys. I could have sworn this is what it looks like. Let me see. Is there anything proprietary that I'm setting myself? No. This is what it should look like. Look at that. We got me smoking on a Padron 1926. We got some Cab Sav. We got a delicious large ribeye, big enough for the two of us. We got old Maddie over here with his single malt. Steve's married, apparently. And I don't know, is that a ring on my finger? I don't see a ring on my finger, but we got Hot Steve over here. We got some large ass scrimps. We got a lobster. Cocktail sauce should go over here. But yeah, Padron 1920s, dude. We're living that dream. We got that garlic mash, ribeye off the bone. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what else I can do for you guys. Let's take a quick look before we head off at the first part of this
Over 175 years, Siemens has been at the forefront of, I'd say, several industrial revolutions.
Bloomberg
NVIDIA
always has
is at the forefront of the
horrible
latest AI industrial revolution, and it's a pleasure to have you both here with us, gentlemen. Roland, I want to try and understand how real this is. You call it an industrial AI operating system. We're going to talk about how you're joining forces on the software side and the hardware side. But I think the most useful place to start would be, could you outline a timeline for when Siemens goes beyond its own footprint around the world using this operating system to customers actually doing things at scale? Because I think when you're on stage, that's the kind of sense I was getting. You want to accelerate to scale.
Well, I mean, this technology is already in place and it's working. I mean, we see that in many examples, and I brought some on stage today, where you have customers starting with a digital twin of a product they want to manufacture, a digital twin of the manufacturing side, and bring that all together. And not before that, you have it optimized and built in the real world. And AI is already working on the shop floor. They call it machine learning. But the point is, with the new models, you can bring that to the next level. That means you go away from giving an advice to somebody with technology, but really act on your behalf. This is when things go more autonomous or adaptive. And you see that already starting. The big thing is, how can we scale it? Because it requires a lot of skills from our customers, a lot of technology, and it's still not that easy to implement. We're working on it to make it easy to deploy.
Hey, Bloomberg, what are you doing?
But you see picking up momentum in each step we do, and we saw some great examples. Is it shipbuilding? Is it food beverage? But even startups using
what are you doing, dude?
Jensen, we've discussed the 5-layer cake often. You know, with NVIDIA, it started with the GPUs, but it's now software. The element of simulation. On stage, you talked about integrating the software side in particular into EDA. Again, it's a similar question for you, more of a timeline. What is it that you think you'll do first in how you guys work closer together?
Well, the first thing that
talking about 5-layer
say
cakes?
very quickly, we're announcing a big partnership between us. We've known each other for a long time, but the partnership we're announcing is really a big deal. One, we're accelerating their EDA software. We're accelerating their simulation software.
So bad,
we're integrating AI technology, physical AI and agentic AI into their team center and their factory automation operating system. And so we're working together across this entire spectrum. When we accelerate the software, then we'll get to use it to design our chips and systems. When we accelerate their simulation software, we'll use it in our AI factories to simulate the thermal properties of our AI factories. When we integrate our automation and agentic systems into their AI industrial operating system, we can then use it in our factory floors with our partners, for example, Foxconn. And so we're working across this entire spectrum together, and we're going to put the technology to use basically as soon as we can.
What's the net effect for you, Jensen? Is it improves margins, efficient capital allocation? I know that might sound a bit dry, but actually right now that's the answer everyone's searching for. How has this investment in AI and use of the technology actually changed things in the real world for me?
Well, we announced yesterday Vera Rubin. It takes 6 different chips to integrate into this incredible system called Vera Rubin. And when you're done, each one of these Vera Rubin GPUs is 240,000 watts. and it is 10 times more energy efficient than the last generation. It is 10.
I don't know, man. I don't know if these CEOs, man, this is why, like, people ask me, they're like, Matt, you like Rocket Lab so much. Why don't you go work at Rocket Lab? And they're like, Matt, you like Palantir a lot. Why don't you? It's like, have you ever met some of these employees? I don't know if this is dandruff. What is that? I don't know. You ever met some of these people? I'm too lazy. I'm too tired. I can't work this hard. You realize how much this guy's probably been asking, like getting asked questions and God knows what? That's a lot. There's a reason why, like, I've been reading Alex Karp's the Philosopher of the Valley, and he's just like always, you know, and the same thing with the clips that he does for Christmas and stuff like that. It's like you realize why he's always skiing is because he needs the stamina to be able to take the, like, I don't know, man. Like, being a CEO, working at some of these companies, like, these guys they're passionate. That's all I can say. They are wheeling, dealing, sons of bees. So I don't know. As much as I think I'm smart and I can keep up, I don't know if I can. I don't think I'm that smart, guys. I think I just got lucky a lot of times. But yes, appreciate the 900 of you guys. Appreciate that I'm also cutting this down. What do you think of the beard? Beard looks better short. I think it looks a little bit shorter. I've been keeping it long for too long. And I don't know. I might try. I need to call my girl Tess. Tess is my quant when it comes to the beard length. I might try another. If there's a 7mm, there's a 9mm. There's a 7. I might try the 7. Yeah, I think because my beard is curly, it's not long. Because my beard's curly, if it gets too long, you can get too many stragglers. So, and then it looks not good. But if you keep it shorter, I think it stays a little bit. But anyway, you guys rock. Scrub is out. You heard it here first. Yeah. Got them blues. Or maybe I'm wearing fake contacts. No, I'm wearing contacts, but you guys rock. Appreciate this. What is this? Matteo, I need your help. Sold cover calls on Rocket Lab. January 9th, 78.50 call, $1.79 premium. What to do? Beard looks sharp. Thank you for the beard comment. Look, man, I think there's a lot of opportunity to potentially roll this. And then we'll move over to, and this is the thing, is it's like you're in a more dire situation than some people. I know some people that are like, my Jan 1685 is like, what am I going to do? I'm like, dude, like, you got a whole week. Calm down. But I think, I'm cautiously optimistic that the stock will pull back a little bit, but that's me. So you're at Jan 9, so 3 days from now, excuse me. 78.50. First and foremost, I'd ask myself, why'd you write the 78.50? Were you premium chasing? Because obviously, if we're writing cover calls at 78.50, you'd be willing to kind of let it go, So one thing you could do is, that was what? And granted, this is after hours, right? So it's not going to be as liquid. So keep this with a grain of salt. You might need to do a little bit more wiggling, but you basically are looking for anything that's $8.30. So you could roll it up to next week to $80 and just keep trying to roll it, but you could also roll it out to February 20th, and you're looking for $8.20. You could roll it to like anywhere between the 90 and 95. I don't know how much you paid, $1.79. I don't know if that was the first time you ever wrote it. Another piece that you could do, if that was the first time you ever wrote anything on it, and you just want to say, I don't want to, lose my shares, whatever, then, you could say, okay, $8.30. So $8.30 is the current price that you'd have to purchase back. You're You're okay. I'm viewing from across the street in the cold. What? Anyway, I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about. Basically, if you just give up that $179 in total premium that you received, the $1.79 a share, and you were to just say, okay, I just want to get out of this trade, then you're looking for $6.50. So in that case, you could easily go to the 95. Let me share the screen. If that makes sense, I can explain it again. But you could easily roll to the 95 and just give up whatever premium you've won. So what am I saying? Let me go back because I realized I wasn't sharing. You're at the 78.5, right? So 78.5, which says 8.15, but if you open this, the last was traded was 8.30. So yeah, the last trade was 8.30. So you'd buy it back probably around 8.30. And you could just go and just look for 8.30, let's say, which would probably get you, I don't know, it's illiquid after hours, so you kind of have to check around, but you might be able to get, I don't know, 81, 82, something like that, somewhere around the 82, 83 maybe. Roll it up to that. You can't go by these numbers. This is what this includes the average of the spread. You have to kind of go by last trade. So, maybe move it out a week. Oh, this is 2 weeks from now. That's why. But yeah, move it out a week or two, get it up a couple dollars, and maybe hope for a retracement. Or you just say, you know what, we're going to February, and you could say, all right, we still need to get $8.20. It sold for $9.40. This one sold for $7.65. So unfortunately, the spreads are still $5 between the strike prices. You'd have to go with the 90 if you didn't. But if you wanted to, because like you stated, you had $1.79 in premium. If you just want to get rid of that, because let's just say that was your first time ever writing covered calls, and you're just like, I just want to get the hell out of the damn trade. You can see I have 85s here for February on 400 shares. Then you just say, shit, I just want to get out of them. I want to keep my shares. I'll live to fight another day. I didn't think it was going to go to $80, whatever. Then, you could take that $8.30 and subtract out that $1.79. So it's $6.50. So now you're looking for $6.50. So, because you're giving up that entire premium that you won, you could easily go with the 90 or the 95 for February. And depending on what's going on, you could even potentially get the 100. But there's maybe some more strikes potentially, or maybe flexibility. So you go with the 90 for February 13th, because that's 660 and that traded at 795. So maybe you actually go closer to the 100. So maybe between the 95 and 100 for early February, something like that. But it really just depends. Like maybe you just want to give it up. Maybe 78.50 is the way to go. So, can I do a video about options? Man, look on the channel. Look up options 101 or something. I think I got it on there. Yeah, I have some covered calls. I have some like 95s or 100s or something for February. So, worst case, it gets there and I got to roll them out, but every time I've been doing pretty well. But all right, guys, I'm gonna head over to the next stream. Let me make sure that I have you guys on here. I'll send it to you guys. Oh, I didn't read what you guys put for the chatbot. How many people did we get? So we got 501 votes. Everyone is using Gemini. Let me take a snippet of this. And I'm going to run over because otherwise Hot Steve is going to be, why isn't it not? There we go. It's wanting me to put an ad in. No ads, my guys. Who am I, Steve Fiorilla? Interesting. 16% on Grok, 7% others. Cool. All right. Well, I appreciate it. I'll see you guys over in the next one. Thank you guys so much for letting me do the close. I know I don't do nearly as much. Yes, if you want to spam Steve, what are we spamming Steve? Hopefully you join on my channel because I don't do ads. But if we spam Steve, let's go with take these broken wings. And there's no context. Just take these broken wings. All right, I'll see you guys over there. Thank you all. What does it want me to do? Your stream will stop immediately. Yes, end. Thank you guys. Sorry, I don't have, yeah.